Hello and welcome back to Over the Line Football. I'm Harry, on the right of me is Jamie, and today we're going to be looking at the resurgence of Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone's side are flying high at the top of the Liga at the moment, with the Los Rojiblancos currently 4 points clear at the top with 2 games in hand of the rest of the league. But last season they finished 17 points behind Spanish champions Real Madrid. So we're going to ask in this video what's changed and for the better for them this season. We're going to go through a few points that we feel have meant that Madrid are pretty much dominating the league at the moment, and the reasons behind this as well. So make sure you subscribe and let's get right into the video. So before we talk about the rest of the league, I think we should give Atletico Madrid the credit they deserve. I think it's only right. They've been absolutely fantastic so far in the Liga this season. I don't think it was long ago that they were talking about Diego Simeone moving on from Atletico Madrid with the result they had, but this season they seem to have completely turned it around. They've won 13 and drawn 2 and only lost 1 game in La Liga, and that was to Real Madrid, and that game was quite unfortunate as well. So Atletico have been performing well. I think what the most astounding stat is, they've scored 36 and only conceded 6 goals. I mean, everyone knows Diego Simeone is famed for his defensive style, but I think this season what's impressed me so much about Atletico Madrid is the pragmatic approach they've taken. They've been so solid in defence as usual. That's been there since Simeone's come to the club, but they've played in a way that's allowed their players to express themselves a lot more, especially, you know, the likes of João Felix, Yannick Carrasco, them sort of players, and they're seeing the results come. What have you made of Atletico Madrid, their start, and how well they've been playing?
Well, I think the signing of Luis Suarez and Barcelona has been a real key factor, really. He's got the most goals for the club, as well as João Felix as well. Both of them two complement each other really well. They're both constant runners, they're constant presses, they're constant... Yeah. And annoying for defenders, basically, is the way I'm trying to say. The flair players are really changing the game from the season. Like Marcos Llorente, he's pop up in those places where you don't particularly see him normally. Last couple of seasons, you haven't seen him pop up in those places where he's been playing. So to have him popping in the goals as well, he's got quite a few goals himself this season. He's doing really well. I mean, Diego Costa's been let go as well, but it doesn't mean anything really. You got like Luis Suarez and one of the best strikers in the past decade. Yeah, really at the club now, which everyone was really surprised at the start of the season. I thought, why he's gone to Atletico Madrid. But yeah, I mean, what more can you say? When you got Luis Suarez up front, anything can happen really.
The Suarez situation was interesting, wasn't it? Because Barcelona got rid of him, but it felt like it wasn't like a decision that had to be made. You know, like it wasn't out of form. I think he was still scoring goals for Barcelona. Obviously, not to the extent he has been in like his career, and obviously he's not as athletic as he was at, let's say, Liverpool. But I remember Messi coming out and complaining, because obviously Messi and Suarez had quite a nice relationship. That he was being sold, so it was more of a surprise. I think it was more of kind of a political thing more than anything, and I think Suarez was kind of as much done with the board and how Barca were playing as Messi has been. So I think that was quite interesting to see. But since then he's been scoring a lot of goals in the Liga. He's only behind Lionel Messi in the goal scoring charts, which isn't a bad feat considering how incredible Messi is. So I think Suarez, I agree, is the main factor. João Felix, let's talk about João Felix, because he came in with a big price tag. It was over 100 million. Yeah. He's like second or third, I think second actually, most expensive player of all time behind Kylian Mbappe. Yeah. So
Neymar as well.
Neymar could be close. I mean, Mbappe was like 200 million.
One of the top 5.
One of the top. Anyway, he's in top 5 definitely. I think it's fair to say last season, in his first season, he didn't really perform as much as you'd expect him to.
I'd say so, yeah, but I think, was it his first season? I could win it last season, so yeah. I mean, if you're not going to hit the ground running straight away, no one really does that. So I think he needs time to a little bit warm up, and then obviously what he's got this season with Luis Suarez is not something you can get every day. You're going to come across playing Luis Suarez every day of the week, are you? So getting the chance to do this, I think, has really helped improve his game as well. Being told by, like, I won't say tutored, but I'd say learning from Luis Suarez is going to really help out anyone's game, really. So João Felix being there. Obviously, I think Diego Simeone's probably said to him this season, he needs to probably step up now. Obviously, at the club, you've basically I think he's had a big expectation his first season because of the price tag. Yeah, of course. And I feel like the new Ronaldo is probably floating around because he's Portuguese and that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of pressure on his first season. So I think as well the fans helping out a bit. The fans aren't there. I think that's really helped him out a bit as well under constant pressure. So I think he's more relaxed because there's no fans, which is sad. But I think it's true at the same time in Spain. So I think he can make an impact properly this season, but he just needs to keep his head down and remember the fact that the top of the league, and he needs to relax. He's calm, relaxed.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think what we spoke about before, that pragmatic approach that Simeone's taken this season, instead of just being defensive, I feel like in last season he was kind of left on his own up front to do it, like the likes of Morata and stuff, but it was getting forward to him and then he'd have no supporting cast around him, so it's difficult for a lad, no matter the price tag, no matter who you are, to take 4 or 5 players on yourself and scoring goals, and he was still scoring them sort of goals. This season his benefit is hugely, as you say, with having the likes of Luis Suarez, but having Carrasco next to him, you said Marcos Llorente, he's got players around him that he can link up with and show his quality on the ball, and he has done that so far this season. And he scored a few goals, 8 goals I think so far this season. 5, but 8 goal contributions with the assists as well. So he's starting to contribute in terms of goals, but his all-round play this season I think has improved dramatically. He's a player that I compare to sort of Messi more than Ronaldo, because he's low centre of gravity. He's not a tall player. He's tricky. He's got good ball control. I think he's just fantastic with the ball at his feet, and he's only got to improve. Look, he's a young lad still.
I was more comparing him to Ronaldo, but the fact that a
he's
lot of Portuguese fans got basically
of
the weight
course.
on his shoulders, basically. So when Ronaldo eventually does retire, it's going to be half the year as the main man for Portugal, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. But like you said, then the pragmatic approach has really helped him out, and I think he's more relaxed, that he's not constantly precious on him this season.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean,
he just got more players to support him at the end of the day, and that's gonna bring more benefits to Atletico Madrid, and it is working at the moment because they're 4 points clear at the top of the Liga, and they've got 2 games on Madrid, Barcelona, and Villarreal, who are second, third, and fourth. But Sociedad, they've got 3 games on them, who are in 5th. So there's potential that they could go 10 points clear.
Possibly. And
that is, at the mid-stage of the season, that's incredible. And considering they finished 17 points behind Real Madrid last season, who, I know they won the league, but they were incredible, were they? They got knocked out in the round of 16 in the Champions League against City. Barcelona got beat 8-2 by Bayern Munich. Had alright flying, but 8-2 is still considering, teams in previous rounds didn't get battered by that much.
I know.
You could see the struggles that they both had, so Atletico Madrid must have been struggling as well. To see they've turned it around this season, I think it's massive credit to them and the way they're starting to play football. And I think a lot of credit has got to go to Simeone, because a lot of people, I think, would tag him in that kind of one-trick pony, that he's very defensive. Kind of like they say with Mourinho, very defensive, likes to defend what he's got, hit him on the counter-attack. But I think he's shown he's got more to his game this season.
I agree. I mean, like I said as well, I think also, because Atletico Madrid are brand new stadium, I think they're only recently moved into their stadium, so I think they're just getting used to the atmosphere and stuff like that compared to the previous stadium. So this season here is really going to be the breaking point, as in if they do really well about the fans, and hopefully all the fans come back, there'll be no pressure then, because they've won the league with this kind of club and this kind of players, and they have the squad, so there'll be no pressure to perform again next season, because they've already done it.
They've not won the league since 2013-14,
2013,
and as well, beating Barcelona this season for the first time in 10 years at home is a massive achievement, and winning them big games. Of course, they lost to Real Madrid, but winning them big games in and around, kind of just dominating the smaller teams, is a good way to go on and kind of dominate the league. Especially, let's move on to kind of like the rest of the league and how inconsistent they are, because I think it links to how Atletico Madrid have kind of stole the match on the rest of the league. Let's look at the sides that Barcelona and Madrid have dropped points against. Barcelona have lost to the likes of Getafe. They lost to Madrid, of course. Drew with 10-man Alves.
So this is all literally 3 weeks in a row. So he lost to Getafe, drew one with lost to Getafe, then lost to Real Madrid, and then drew one with Alaves, and 3 games in a row when Alaves had 10 men as well. So,
but even Real Madrid, they've lost to Cadiz, and that was in the same week. Barcelona lost to Getafe.
So pick up 6 points basically. Atletico Madrid. So it's like it's similar to the Premier League, how the teams like the West Brom and that kind of stuff. It's suddenly all of a sudden now the clubs. I think I put in like other teams in the division like downloads. They don't expect some high expectations. Where Atletico Madrid are just beating all the teams the same score, like the 2-0s, 3-0s, that kind of stuff. There's no one really smashed anyone this season.
No, I completely agree. Pep Guardiola said it in his, obviously following City, in his press conference today. He said how tired players are this season. You're not seeing like many teams smashing. It's 1-0 or 2-0, that sort of thing. And Atletico Madrid have just been consistent in beating the smaller teams. I think in previous seasons, with the likes of Real Madrid having like Ronaldo and Benzema when he's on top form, Barcelona, obviously Messi on top form, Suarez, and then the people around him, they've been able to easily dispatch of these sides. But I think sides now, seeing how Barcelona and Real Madrid have been, are going to the Bernabeu, the new camp, when in previous seasons it'd be like, oh God, it's like when teams go to Anfield. They're like, oh God, I don't know if we can win here. But teams are going to Nou Camp and the Bernabeu and thinking, we can get a result here. They're not as good as they have been in previous seasons. And Atletico Madrid have kind of turned that on themselves, and every time they're going to Atletico Stadium, they're thinking, I don't think we can get a result here. And Simeone, you've got to give him massive credit, but the league this season has been very disappointing in terms of quality, but Atletico Madrid have massively taken advantage of that. Let's talk about Barcelona actually. We talked about Messi on the podcast last week, so if you've not checked out that podcast, make sure you go and check it out. There's not really any kind of spoilers in it. It's just a kind of like a general footy chat about what's happened so far this season. So yeah, go and check that out. But Messi, who's still top goal scorer in the Liga with 11 goals, he's not really been supported well. Griezmann's only on 5 goals. He was a big signing for him. Enzo Fati, who's came in and has been fantastic for them at such a young age, has unfortunately got a knee injury. He's going to be out for 4 or 5 months. He's going to miss a lot of the season. In fact, the majority of it actually before he goes up to speed. The importance of having a squad, I think, has been shown by Atletico Madrid so far this season. That they've got goals from all over the team, whereas Barcelona and actually Real Madrid in particular, Real Madrid have got Benzema, who's their top goal scorer with 8 goals, but there's no other goal scorers inside the top 20 in La Liga from Madrid other than Benzema. Barca have only got Messi and Griezmann in there, whereas Atletico Madrid have got 6 or 7 players in there. So the importance of having a squad that can score goals from kind of all over the pitch is important, isn't it?
Of course, I mean, like I said about how key Luis Suarez is for Atletico Madrid. Luis Suarez is one of the top 5 strikers in the world, and to lose that kind of player, it's not going to be easy to try and replace basically. So, I mean, Barcelona are out with Coutinho and Fati, so two of the best players attacking forward have gone there already. The Griezmann up top because basically he's completely different to Suarez. We know that anyway. It's more the fact that in the past when they've won the league and stuff like that, a lot of their players are now Barcelona have got an Asian team. That's what I'm trying to say, and the players that are young are out injured.
Are they too reliant on Messi? Do you think Barcelona?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, then because the team's so aged, like Piqué, Alba, they're still playing week in week out, and they're not cut out for it anymore. They're not the top players that they once were, but yet they're still relying on them, kind of thing. Yeah. So like Luis Suarez, he's gone. They've gone to Griezmann, and he's not delivering, and then they just go, okay, that's fine. They've not really. I don't think Barcelona have really been thought of as a letdown this season because of the fact that Messi's still there. That's not all good. Messi's still there. It's fine. Once Messi leaves Barcelona, people realise that they could possibly only just about challenge for the top 4, possibly without Lionel Messi. So, but we'll have to see. But like you said, it's only Griezmann providing the goals really, and obviously Ansu Fati was doing really well before he was injured. So it could be the next few years. Ansu Fati's going to be the new Lionel Messi. We'll say the new Lionel Messi, but the man that's going to be focusing for Barcelona going forward. So, but at the moment, he's not there. They're struggling at the moment, Barcelona. They've got really no one there bar Messi that can really change the game around. It feels like at the moment, anyway, to me. I mean, they're losing to the likes of Getafe and 10-man Alaves. I mean, Alaves had a very good season themselves, personally. But you expect them before the game to beat those teams, for example. It's the same Real Madrid as well, though. I mean, they look to Cadiz as well. I mean, I honestly know the Negredo, favourite of yours, playing for Cadiz up top, but it's like the Premier League. You expect teams to beat other teams, but I think it's just COVID in general. I think there's no COVID and stuff like that. I think possibly it could be Barcelona beating those games and doing a lot better. But the
situation surrounding Messi and sort of the presidential race with Bartomeu stepping down might have affected him a bit more than we think, maybe, because the politics in Spain is so strange compared to the politics in England, isn't it?
I mean,
in terms of like having a president.
Really, I feel like the presidency is proper like. I think because Barcelona, compared to the other teams in the Premier League, there's only like really 3 or 4 teams that are on the level of Barcelona. Yeah. And it's Sheffield United and Barcelona playing the top leagues if football, and then you don't expect the Sheffield United presidency to affect of a football club to affect the whole of the country, which a Barcelona is affecting the whole of the country. What's going on there? Which is crazy to think. So, end of the day, if Messi goes, it's going to be a problem. At the moment, he's still there, so they can rejoice and be happy at the moment. But I just think now it's just really the down-off period where I think this is the beginning of the end for Messi. I think this is going to be. And
they're the 2 nearest competitors to Atletico Madrid. Sociedad had a good start to the season, and then they kind of tailed off with the injuries they've had. Valencia are up there, but they were the two that you'd probably expect to challenge Atletico Madrid, and they're just not at the moment.
Well, that was such a bizarre result for was it Real Madrid against Valencia? Was it Real Madrid they lost to? Was it? Oh no, so was it?
Who's this?
So Real Madrid lost Valencia, and obviously that crazy game with 3 penalties. That Carlos Soler hat-trick for penalties. It's a crazy game. That's a real game. You thought, wow, that's open, and then all of the games. It's like all over the world at the moment. There's no games that are really wide open. Everything's very compact. Everyone's, I think, just sick and tired of playing so many games every week. I think it's really fatigue that's happened. So I reckon if there was an international break, not winter break I should say, so like there is sometimes in Germany, I think the players will feel a little better. I reckon you might see them start the 6-0 and stuff like that. But I think because of what's going on, playing week in, week out, I feel like 3 games possibly a week sometimes. I think the players are just knackered and you can't give 100% all the time. So
I agree. By the end of the day, you've got to give Atletico Madrid massive credit. They've took advantage of the situation, and they look like they're going to win La Liga.
Of course,
at the moment in time.
Yes, I mean, I think they will. I think there's no, unless something drastic goes wrong. I mean, they've got 2 games done as well, and it could be possibly, like you said, 10 games. They're 10 points ahead halfway through the season, and that's quite a hard margin to get down, especially when you've already played. Like, have they played Real Madrid yet, or?
Who's that? Sorry.
Atletico Madrid. So
yes, they got beat off Real Madrid. That's the only loss they've had.
So they beat one. They beat Barcelona, lost off Real Madrid. So basically, in theory, he's only dropped 3 points all season. They've drawn 2 as well, but the game they've lost is against their competitor. So as long as they only lose to them teams, for example, like the Real Madrids, then and not lose to like the Cadiz or the Getafes, that kind of stuff, then it's gonna. Atletico Madrid should win this league, unless of course Suarez gets injured and then it gets messy. Then apart from that, no pun intended. But yeah, just making sure everyone keeps fit, which I think unfortunately Barcelona now have lost quite a few players for injury. So if you want to talk about Real Madrid as well, about how big Ronaldo.
Yeah, I mean Ronaldo's been a big miss for Madrid, but
yeah.
I replacing him, you're never going to replace him, but. No. Madrid won the league last season, so they obviously did something right. Whether they just capitalised like Atletico Madrid have done this season, and like everyone being wrong, but I'm not sure. I'd be interested to know what everyone else thinks on this situation, especially in La Liga at the moment. Is it just Atletico Madrid have kind of changed a bit of a setup and they've been brilliant, or have they capitalised on Barcelona, Real Madrid, etc., the kind of supporting cast not playing as well? I'd let you know. Let us know in the comments. But as usual, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. On the road to 50 subs, let's just say.
Fingers crossed.
50 subs. We're not far off it, so make sure you subscribed. And yeah, we'll see you next time. See you later.